Welcome to the All Outdoors Photography Podcast with your hosts, Rylan Meadows, Ryan Taylor, and Henry Doyle. We'll be talking about a general introduction to the podcast as well as a general introduction to ourselves in today's episode. This podcast is about everything all outdoors photography, so sit back and enjoy.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the podcast. This is going to be episode 1 here, and we're basically just going to be introducing ourselves, why we decided to come together with all of our creative minds and start this podcast, and just give our background basically about where we are in our photography careers. So,
and this is going to be a basically weekly show, so we'll just go into gear, techniques, all different things about outdoor photography. All three of us come from different locations and different backgrounds, so that's what we'll be talking about on this show.
I think we're all very excited to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a podcast for years now, just about anything really. But yeah, nothing better than doing this where I can talk endlessly about. Hi, my name is Ryan Taylor. I pretty much lived in Ohio, the Midwest, all my life. That's all I know really. And I've been doing photography for better part of about 8 years or so. And basically, I got started way back in first grade. Let me go back there first. So my art teacher was like, "Hey," she kind of just told everyone in class one day. She's like, "Hey, everyone, you should do photography class in high school. It's fun. You learn a lot. It's cool. It's creative." And I was like, "Okay, I mean, sure." I kept it in my mind. It was in like the back of my head. And then so to fast forward to sophomore year, I was like, think about what kind of electives to take, and I was like, I kind of remembered it. I was like, all right, I'm going to take it. I'm going to try it. So it's pretty fun, obviously, as I'm here now. First semester was film. Second semester was digital. I kind of stuck with digital more. Found it to be a lot more kind of up my speed and more kind of like my forte with just the immediate image playback and all that. So, and then from there, I just learned different camera techniques. That's really where I got my start. And then I graduated high school and I was like trying to figure out really what I wanted to do with my life and really where I wanted to go. With some sort of career, basically. And so I've always been creative, doing all different kinds of art mediums and different, just painting, drawing, you name it. I did pretty much all of it, but photography was the last thing really. And it was actually, fortunately, the thing that I stuck with. And so I've been doing it ever since then, just slowly building up to this kind of more business-minded thing. And so I'm really happy about starting this podcast with two of my buddies, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. And Ryan is a great photographer, so make sure to check out his work.
Stop.
All right.
Modest at best.
I feel like me and Henry have a lot to live up to after that. That was a very dedicated speech. I'm kind of nervous now.
It's like an elevator pitch. You kind of, you rephrase it over time. You master your speech.
So, my name is Henry. I haven't been doing photography for that long. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. So I used to make a lot of little like home videos, travel videos and whatnot, actually on this little camcorder that I'm filming on right now. And then I discovered the photo feature on this camcorder. It was pretty terrible, like 1 megapixel or something. But eventually I got more into that and completely transferred over to photo. And then I kind of started a YouTube channel to kind of integrate the two things together. And I focus pretty much on nature photography. Right now, pretty much landscapes. I've done some wildlife stuff, but mostly landscapes. Don't know really what else to say, but I really enjoy the gear side. I'm really into gear, like too much, but that's just me. I'm very technical, so I like camera settings and all that kind of stuff. So I hope I can bring that side to the podcast. You can check me out on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And yeah, that's pretty much me. So
I really enjoyed that plug at the end. That was really great.
Don't you forget.
Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
My boy.
In case you weren't sold yet, you can follow me there. I like it. What about you, Ryan?
Okay, well, much like Henry, I've only been in this for about 2 years. You all have like very interesting stories about how you got into it, like with a camcorder, and you and Ryan got into it at like first grade. Not me. I just kind of showed up one day and I enjoyed it. I got a camera kind of with the anticipation of more of the videography aspect. I started with the Nikon D3500, and the plan was to do a lot of work with kind of real estate and help showcase properties with videography and photography. And then I went on a vacation to a beach, and I learned kind of more along the sides of photography, which wasn't my original intention with getting the camera, but it did happen that way, and that's what I ended up doing with it. And obviously, I'm glad because it's paid off, and I really enjoy doing wildlife, landscapes. I've recently gone into portraiture a lot as well, and I'm starting to get some clients with that, which is very exciting. Um, Much like Henry, I really enjoy gear, probably too much.
Yep.
I love to hear about, the upcoming cameras, the R5, which is probably gonna overheat a lot. Just wanted to throw that in there. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I love to do outdoor photography, which is what this podcast is going to be centered around. So
Yep.
I'm really excited to do this.
Mhm.
I feel like the odd one out because I don't really pay much attention to gear. So I'm glad both of you got this.
It's good to have a nice balance.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it's nice because we all kind of bring something kind of different from outdoor photography to the table here.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's gonna work out pretty well over time.
So one other thing I thought we could do on this show is, like, we were talking about gear a little bit. Since we did our intros kind of quickly, another important part of photography is what gear you use. It's not the most important, but it is important. So we're each going to go through some of our gear real quick, starting with Ryan.
Oh shoot!
I could tell by the look on his face that he was not ready for that. He was like,
I just said, like, I just literally, I said, I was like, I don't know much about gear. And then you're like, Ryan, talk about your gear. I have a camera. It takes pictures. So no, it's all good. I know some things. So I shoot mainly, I have one camera body right now because one took a drink when it dropped in the water earlier this year. Unfortunately, I do have a video on my YouTube channel about it, so you can see it there. No, I didn't do it on purpose for views, obviously, but it was an interesting day. Anyways, so I get on tangents if you can't tell. So I have one camera body. It's a Canon EOS 80D. It's a very nice crop sensor camera. It has a flip out touchscreen. It's got, I don't even know how many megapixels. I think 16.
24.
Is it 20?
I'm obsessed with gear, so yeah, I know.
Don't you have this? You have that same body?
I do not, but I probably know more about your camera than you do. So.
I'm nervous now. Henry's like, up at things. I was like, okay.
He's one of those where he's like, excuse me, I'll correct you there. Guilty. All right. Yeah. Just correct me if I say anything wrong from here on out.
I will.
Okay. And then so I kind of just have for outdoor photography in general, I just kind of have a whole range of lenses, focal lengths. I have a Tamron 150 to 600. They're first generation. That's what I use, obviously, for most of my wildlife, mainly birds and all that. And then I kind of just have more landscape-ish, kind of like a 24 millimeter wide angle. That works pretty well. Mainly landscapes with that as well. Geez, he's got the lens out. Mine's behind me. But and then I have a Nifty 50. It's a prime lens. It's a very nice one that I just use for just anything in between that and my 75 to 300, which is probably the lens I use the most. I find that focal length works real well. I pretty much take all my macro shots with that paired with an extension tube. And yeah, I have a Gitzo tripod, a Benro super slim travel tripod. I got, a little bit of everything. Got the flash, got, all the bells and whistles. I got so many different bags. Pretty sure you guys could agree with that. It's kind of like an addiction.
I actually only have one, surprisingly.
Oh really? Dang.
Yeah.
I have 3.
Guilty. Yeah. Well, one I use one small one like this time of year when it's warmer, and then I have like a big hiking bag that I kind of convert to a camera bag, and that's usually for like winter or any big camping trips or whatever I do. But other than that, it's pretty much it. Binoculars for birds, a spotting scope for like lakes and stuff. But without getting too much into details, that's pretty much covers about it.
It's a good summary.
I'm a very big overpacker. So like you can just picture me at any time of year, no matter how hot it is,
Hunched
with that
over.
big that big hiking bag on the back of me with just like 2 tripods sticking out.
I'm still using like a $20 little like mirrorless camera backpack. I have a mirrorless camera, but it's pretty big, so it does not fit at all.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say a $20 mirrorless camera. I was like, where do you get those?
No.
Tell me more.
If only.
I know, yeah.
Multiply that by 1,000 or something. I don't know.
At
Yeah.
least. That's pretty generous. I mean, my main
100,
bag I
yeah.
use is my main bag I use is a Amazon Basics. It's like one of the basic DSLR backpacks.
Yeah.
And I've had that for 4 years. I still use it.
I
don't
use
care.
a low pro
works.
one. So I'm using the Canon EOS RP. It's full frame, mirrorless. It's the Canon EOS R line. And then I'm using the adapter for most of my lenses. So I use Canon DSLR lenses. I've got a Tamron 24-70 on here right now. Oh my gosh, voice crack. So I've got a Tamron 24-70 on right now, and my only other lens is the 7200 f4. It's a great lens. So yeah, that's my setup right now. I'm probably going to be adding a 600 millimeter soon, but the f11, so that new Canon one. So so that's my setup. I'm using a generic Amazon tripod. I think it's the Magnus something. I'm using L bracket, that kind of stuff. Polar Pro filters, and that's pretty much it for what I bring in the field, at least. So, yeah,
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, I hate to bear the bad news, but Canon is not going to sponsor us after I go. Because despite you two shooting Canon, I'm a Nikon guy.
I hate you.
Mhm.
No. I used Nikon in high school, so I
The
started with that.
The question is, how long will he be a Nikon guy? I mean,
That's true.
We'll convert him.
That's true.
Mhm.
Don't worry. Slowly, we'll do it.
Surprising. It would be really ironic if one of us shot Canon, one of us shot Sony, and then the other one Nikon. That would be pretty funny.
So tell us your setup.
So for my gear, I got the Nikon. I'm just gonna like show this up. It don't even like fit on the entire camera. I have the 200 to 500 f5.6 on my primary body, which is the Nikon D500, and then I have a secondary, which is the Nikon D3500, which is what if you've ever seen any of my videos on YouTube, pretty much all of them, especially when I'm out in the field, is filmed on the Nikon D3500. I also have the Nikkor 24-70 f2.8 lens, which is the newest addition to my gear. It's currently on the 3500 back behind me somewhere, and I have both of those lenses are full frame. And then I have 2 crop censored lenses because the D500 and D3500 are both crop censored cameras. Because a lot of what I do is wildlife, so I'd like to have that extra reach with the 1.5 crop.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 DX lenses, which is Nikon's version of the crop censored, which is the 1855 f5.6 and the 70-300 f5.6 to 7.1, I think is what it is. Of course, I've got some tripods as well. I have 2 set up over here. I have 2 Bonphoto B690A tripods. That's all I have to take in. It's like the #1 Amazon one or something. I don't know, when you type in ball head tripod. Then I have a Zombie M6, which is actually sent to me by Zombie. I have a video on that. It was a sponsorship.
Cool.
And then I have a Neewer wildlife gimbal on the Zombie M6 tripod, which is it's a really good gimbal. It's my favorite one to use, especially for video and wildlife and such. I think that pretty much covers it. Look behind me back here. Yeah.
I watched your review of that tripod, that Zombie tripod. I'm pretty sure we have the exact same tripod, but like rebranded by a different company. Like it's like the exact same thing.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I feel like now I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't care if they sponsored me. I feel like Zombie and Bonphoto are like combined. They're like the same company, but they do seem a little sketchy to me. But I didn't say that. You can't quote me on that.
If I had the bet, Manfrotto probably owns Zombie. Just maybe it's like a sister company or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Without doing
Based
my
it out
research,
Their leftover materials go towards those tripods or something.
they're for budget-friendly
And
tripods.
you said you have a Gitzo tripod. That's probably pretty good.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of the systematic ones. Like I don't remember the model numbers off the top of my head, but it's like one of the nice. I have the extra long one, which is like 4 sections. It's a big, beefy tripod. Like it's not in the wind. It's not going anywhere. But the nice thing about this, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have it with me, like behind me, but it has no center column. So and you
Oh.
might think that would be weird, but like
Mm.
it's like it might be less stable. But actually, I'd say it's more stable
Yeah.
overall. And the main reason is you can lower it like pretty much to ground level. Like the base of the center of the tripod can be like touching the ground, so you get that kind of perspective better. But it's so heavy that once I got my Benro, I was just like, and that's like a regular size, smaller carbon fiber tripod. I was like, it gets so nice, but I don't know. I got this really big one. I should get a smaller one someday, but it costs a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But they're nice quality products.
The most annoying thing about my tripod is not being able to remove the center column. Like I always want to get down in those creeks and get those waterfall shots.
Same here, and it drives me insane.
I feel that.
Have you, since we have the same tripod, have you ever tried to like take it off and like
turn it upside down?
Uh-huh.
No, I haven't. I'm too scared to try to do that.
It's one of those tripods where like it can like.
Well,
I don't know how you
the
describe it.
bad part is you can take everything off and it looks like the ball head's gonna attach, but it doesn't screw in completely. So you're like so
Yeah.
close, but it just doesn't work. So
Jeez.
And like, I feel like it would be kind of complicated because your camera's like upside down. So like, I don't even know if that would work.
You're
Does yours
dip in
like
the water.
does yours come off as a monopod too?
I don't think so actually. So maybe it's slightly different.
Well, mine does. I've never tried to use it though, so I was gonna.
Well,
I think
mine said monopod, but I don't think it would actually work as a monopod. So I
Well,
think
like-
it was kind of a scam.
One of the unique things with the mine is like one of the legs just like completely screws off, and you can mount your ball head on one of the legs if you. I guess if you don't have room to set up a tripod or something. I've never really tried it. I think that's more of like a thing for sports photography.
Yeah.
Maybe. I actually bought not too long ago a dedicated, once again, Gitzo. I'm not sponsored by them. I just like their stuff. It wasn't that expensive as the regular tripod, but I did buy a monopod by Gitzo, and it's a very nice quality one. It was only like $250, I think, which sounds like a lot, but I mean it's carbon fiber.
I mean for Gitzo,
Gitzo,
that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's pretty good,
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean you have to supply your own ball head or tripod head, and fortunately I do have I think I have a Jobu. How do you pronounce it?
Joby?
No, not Joby. I think it's Jobu. I'm really bad about this. I promise next time I'll be more I'll be more familiar with my gear. But yeah, I do have a gimbal head to put on there. So.
Once I get a more wildlife focused lens, I'll definitely get a gimbal head. Maybe that newer one, but right now a ball head's doing okay for that, for me at least.
I got like this
go back.
really generic Neewer one that I never used that I bought like when one of my other ones tore up. But like I've used it at one time. I don't know. I like Neewer. But let's just say I got into it with one of the little sales ladies the other day and a very aggressive email. So
Don't be that guy. Complain about. She probably doesn't even know what the difference is between a ball and a gimbal head.
you're probably right.
I not too long ago I bought a newer intervalometer. I haven't used it too much, but it looks pretty good quality for like $20. Can't go wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Neewer's like for their price, they're really good quality in my opinion.
Well, if you look at all these lower price companies, like they're all the same products. That's the funny part. Like
They really are.
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
Just a different name.
Yep.
How many tripods do you have to go through before you just pony up for a good one?
Yeah.
It's a struggle. I use a ball, Kirk BH3. I do know that for some reason. I remember that, but it's a really good ball head. It has, I believe, 3 twist knobs. One's like the overall, whatever you call this movement. The other one's a tension knob, and the other one just is for rotating. And it's a big, heavy, few pounds at least, metal tripod head. So it works pretty well. I like it. Pairs well with the Gitzo too.
I don't know if you all like just seen me turn around and just like point my finger everywhere, but I was
Mhm.
like counting my tripods, and I just
Yeah.
have 7 tripods back here chilling
Mhm.
behind me.
Mhm.
Like 3 of
I-
them are generic. One is like a really nice one. I don't even know how I got it. I don't remember buying it. I swear. It's like
Yeah.
a video one, and then
So,
I have,
uh-huh.
like I said, I have 2 of the Bond photos, and then I have my M6 over here in the corner.
Your background's blurry, but like I can see the silhouettes behind
Yeah.
you of everything.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them setting up on this little fancy display thing, and there's like 3 on the ground.
Yeah. So
Just-
I have a good hack for like buying video tripods, like nice fluid heads. I actually bought mine from a telescope company, and it's the same mounting system as a camera, and it's way cheaper. So I got this like really nice video tripod for like $50 that would normally be like
Oh, yeah.
200. So if you ever looking for something like that, get it from a telescope brand.
Are you referring to like a pan and swivel with like the knob or the handle? Or
With,
is this something different?
I forget what it's called. It's like it has the giant knob, if you know what I mean, like the giant knob sticking out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
I think I might know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because the thing I'm thinking of is
Wait,
just
hang
like
on.
a tripod.
Hang
head,
on.
And it has like
I'll
a
be
QR
right back.
Like, okay.
Okay.
I think he has one. Maybe that's why he's.
Yeah.
he
I
got
mean,
it.
it was
Okay.
7. I only have 3, so only 3. I mean, that's still a lot.
Three
but
tripods.
yeah.
Oh shoot! I just gave one away to someone I know for free. I was just like, "Here, have it. I don't want it. I'm not gonna charge you." So
I'll
That's pretty
buy
cool.
I'll buy that Gitzo off you if you're not going to use it.
no, dude, I it's my baby.
Okay.
I thought I would be extra and like get a display. Is this like what you're talking about, Henry? Can you see it? Is it like
that's
blur?
It's not. But
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you meant. I don't know what you mean either.
That's a gimbal. Wait, what?
I meant like
Okay.
this little knob thing.
no,
No.
no, it's not, not quite.
not even close.
Well,
I tried.
Yeah. So I feel like we should move on to something beyond gear, maybe.
let's talk about why we started this podcast or how it got started. So,
Why did
yeah,
we
sure.
start this podcast?
Okay. So first
have
of
you
all,
started?
how did we meet? So who wants to take that?
I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay.
Yay!
So, if I recall, I'm really bad about memory, so that's why I take pictures for a living. Um, so I believe, Rylan, I think you started commenting early on in my channel. Yes, that one right there. I think you started commenting on my YouTube channel, like my first couple months I was on it, and I had a couple of videos here and there. I was trying it out, sure. But you were like commenting a couple times, like, hey, what's up? I liked your video, and you're like, hey, check out mine. I was like, okay, cool. So I checked out some of your videos, and it just goes from there. And we started subscribe to each other, started communicate more. You're like, hey, I have an Instagram, so cool. Follow each other on there. And it was pretty much it. I mean, that's the short story of it. And then I know for me and Henry at least, I believe it was started with, and it goes back to you, Rylan, because I think you started Yeah, you're taking all the credit for all this, I guess. I'm sizing you up here. So, anyways, I think it was when you started a couple months ago. The Instagram pod is a little group chat we had to communicate with. I think it was about 6 of us, if I remember. And and then that's how I met you, Henry. Was from that, and then you and me started communicating. Hey, we're like, hey, we're both on YouTube, yada yada, and the rest is history. So.
And I met Rylan actually the same way. He started. I don't know if you commented on my Instagram or YouTube or someplace. But it's been quite a while. I think it's been almost a year, maybe. I don't know. But
Me too.
I just feel so important right now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take the credit for this whole podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think back probably a year ago on my channel when I had that series, what was it called? The Photographer of the Week.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
I featured both of you all on that.
Yeah.
And so that might be.
Yeah.
You all might have connected through that too.
Yeah, that was great. That was very helpful.
This is a neat little thing. And then you, Henry, I made recently that underrated photographers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think you shout out. I know you did me. I think you did.
Yes,
him too.
you and Rylan. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Look at it. We're all just sharing the love here. Isn't that nice?
It's like there's a lot of photographers on Instagram, but I feel like the nature photography community is actually somewhat small. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, outside of the
mm,
big names, it's very, very
Yeah.
like
yeah.
inclusive. Like if you're not Peter Lick or Art Wolf, which I
Mm,
like both of them,
I
or
feel
you know,
I feel
yeah,
like there's a lot of content going out that's like nature photography, but it's not like, professional.
mm,
It's not like they're actually using a high grade camera like all of
mm,
us are to actually, get a
mm.
composition or do a long exposure or whatnot.
I mean,
yeah,
you can like tell there's like a line between like iPhone photo, or not just iPhone, but like
phones.
kind of like the over textured kind of photo.
Yeah.
Those kind of
Over
things.
edited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh.
They put some kind of pithy quote in like some deep caption or whatever. Not
Yeah.
I probably do this
Uh,
too, but like,
And
and they take
again,
it with their phone and they're like,
yeah.
"Look where I hiked today," and I
And
mean that's cool.
there's nothing wrong with that, but
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Oh no, we're not
uh,
trashing someone for doing it.
it's just kind of
Yeah, we're not
funny.
gonna trust you
Yeah.
because this is our first podcast.
You live
Uh,
a life.
Now, now, if we get successful, we might trust you,
uh,
We're gonna eat your
Yeah.
words there.
but not yet.
uh, I mean,
Yeah.
when you like, it's kind of hard sometimes when you see like those iPhone pages that have like like thousands of followers,
Oh my
and when
god.
like we go out in the field for hours, and, you know.
I was out. I mean, not to like talk about today, but I guess we can for a brief moment. Yeah, I was out today for like probably 6, 7 hours, and I mean, I took probably about 400 shots. How much
Yeah.
of that is quality? How much is going to be uploadable to my website? Probably like
Hmm.
10 shots, maybe.
I mean,
That are
like,
like my approved a list, but
yeah, like the amount of effort we put into our shots is fairly high,
stupidly,
at least for
stupidly
me.
high.
I mean, like I do like on landscape shots in particular, like I have like 20 different versions of the same photo.
Me too.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that a lot of people like don't understand, especially people that like aren't photographers. I don't think they actually understand how long it takes to like sort through all your images and then edit them and then like
Yeah.
go through and pick your top 5 or
And
top
even
10 or whatever.
like arranging Instagram stuff, like
Mhm.
like writing your caption and everything, and doing the right tags and whatnot. So.
I spend because you guys probably know I do like a daily post or whatever, and that can take 20 minutes to half an hour just to like craft some paragraphs,
Yeah.
slap a quote on the hashtags, the everything. So
And I like
Yeah.
the borders you do too. That's a nice touch.
oh, thank you.
I do
Yeah.
too.
I want
If
to
you
add
get-
those, but my page is already like borderless, so I'm afraid to
Oh no.
change it.
No, scroll down to mine. Go down to my beginning. I like the first probably 100 were just like border, no border.
Yeah.
I not to shamelessly plug. I'm affiliated once again, but it's called InFrame, and it should be available for Android and iOS, so you can use that. And it doesn't do just white borders. You can do all these other kind of fancy kind of filter borders. So I just like to be nice and simple and just have white. It's plain, but it works.
And I don't know how you churn out a daily photo, and it's like a good photo too every day. Like, that's hard. I mean,
oh,
That's
thank
very
you,
hard.
thank you.
I did that in the beginning, which is kind of how I got my decent following on Instagram. And I used to come up with these really clever captions. I just want to read this caption that I did. I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 months ago. See, this is one of the very unclever ones. It was like, this is the point in my career where I accepted that I was done with like doing the clever captions. Okay, here it goes. Anyone remember when I used to write very clever captions? Me neither. And then I addressed the flower in the photo. I said, these flowers are known as purple dead nettle. Yeah, fun time if you're still reading this caption. At this point, good for you. You're a dedicated follower. Wonderful weather we're having, huh? Not really, it's pouring rain. I hope you can pick up on my sense of humor and aren't reading this very bland in your head. Okay, I'm finished. Or am I? You can ask me a question on my story if you want. I have really wasted your time at this point. Haha, loser. Just kidding.
Oh my
Thanks for
God.
reading. Bye now.
Jeez.
Unfollowed.
That
Toxic.
was about the post.
Wow,
Toxicity is real.
that was evil.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I do right now. I do 3 posts a week, and that's even hard for me. So
It's all I can say is it's a habit. I'm doing it. I'm about 600 days in a row of doing it daily, and it's just making a habit out of it. That's all I can really say. There's some days I would be it's like 11:30 p.m. and I'm like, oh no, I almost forgot. But I try to do it in the morning
Mhm.
so I don't forget, to start the day off right. So
Anymore, like I don't even really have a routine anymore as far as Instagram goes. The only thing that I'm really like just drilling a routine on is YouTube, and that's what I'm
Mhm.
focusing on at the moment.
I'm the opposite. Where I'm like
Same.
YouTube, I'm like, inspiration
Mhm.
strikes, sure, but like other than that, it's like I don't know when my next video would be.
Mhm.
But Instagram, I'm more like daily posts,
Mhm.
add a million
And
things to
that's very hard
stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
it's a lot of
Mhm.
work.
I used to do that, and I mean, it's so hard to have like a really good photo every
Mhm.
single day to
I'm just
post to a
really
lot of folks.
uninspired right now in my area. Like,
Oh
just
yeah,
it's
yeah.
hot and yeah.
I was that way the past couple weeks, and fortunately, like yesterday was kind of like my big breakthrough, where I was like, I'm getting progress, and today was great. So I feel like I'm kind of getting back on track
Mhm.
at least. But yeah, it's
Uh,
just summer. Summer just is so
yeah,
uh,
I agree.
for
I'm with
like
Henry.
reasons.
I mean, me and Henry are like pretty close, and I mean, today the heat index where I live was at 102,
Yeah.
and it's been like that pretty much every day this week, and it's just so hot, and I'm just like, I can't make myself get out and pack like a 7 pound camera and a long
Mhm.
lens to get out and shoot what I need to do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially in the heat. I mean, that
Mhm.
just
No, I
I'm just bored of my like general area too, because during quarantine I mostly just shot the local area around me, so I feel like I've squeezed everything out of there. Like,
get that.
mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's also just like the longer days means the sun's like higher up in the
yeah.
sky. And I don't know about you, you probably guys would agree, but it's like that, just that lighting is just, I look outside, I'm like, it's a beautiful day, but I don't want to take out the camera.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just, I'd rather do something else outside. So
Mhm.
It's
just,
very like harsh lighting, and when it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
directly overhead, it's so hard
Mhm.
to get a good
Yeah.
picture, especially when you're doing landscapes.
I like cloudy
Oh,
days the best. Yeah.
hmm boring flat light. It's my
Mhm.
favorite.
Yep.
People don't, non-photographers don't get it, but I'm like, I tell
Mhm.
them, I'm like, I hate sunny days for that stuff. I
Mhm.
love
Yeah.
a nice, boring, cloudy day. And
Yep.
they're like,
No,
you're
what?
weird. I'm like, you don't get it. You don't get it.
Well, what people don't realize is their eyes have a lot of dynamic range, so they can just they can see everything. But your camera,
Well,
it's
now the
just
big
it's
bokeh.
terrible. Yeah, on
Yeah,
a blue
yeah.
sky day. Yeah.
Your camera just gets overwhelmed, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to deal with that. Honestly, rainy days are the best because like no one really goes out. I
Yeah.
call them the normies, like people that just kind of go with their
Uh-huh.
families. But yeah,
Mhm.
so it's like I have to place wherever I go all to myself usually because most people just rather stay at home.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
it's nicer weather.
most people don't really care about nature anymore. I mean, let's just be honest. It's a lost
I
art. Yeah.
I beg to differ. I
Mm.
mean, there's a I feel like
Ooh, it's getting heated. Turn the lights
that
to red.
that that's a
Red.
debate. Well, I'm saying like the pandemic, I feel like because like all anyone could do at that time was go
Yeah.
outside. So a lot of people, I
Mhm.
feel like it raised. Let me go all philosophical here, but like I feel like it raised like a whole kind of generation of hiking people or just people that
Mhm.
like outdoors because it's like
Yeah.
they learned from it like oh there's a future whatever doesn't have
Mhm.
to be outdoor photographer but it's someone that enjoys the outdoors. So I see what you're getting at, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like with the internet and like Instagram, people see like the big mountains and they're like,
Mhm.
I want to go there, and then they do it and they're like just
Mhm.
hooked on it forever.
Well, here is my perspective because I know you both are dying to know.
Tell me more.
So I
Yeah.
see Ryan's side of things and I see Henry's side of things. I think a lot of people like got out and reconnected with nature, like with COVID-19 and stuff. I think that made people a lot more aware of what was going on. But I also think that was kind of bad at the same time because there's a lot more trash, and
Oh
garbage
yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
things going out on hiking trails, especially the really popular ones,
I mean,
which
I've seen
is
people
awful.
smoking things on on trails
Yeah.
more often than usual now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, with the more awareness and foot
Mhm.
traffic, it widens the trails, more trash everywhere outside of trash bins. Trash bins are full. Yeah, it is like a nightmare, but still is at least. I went to a rock quarry earlier today, and it's like it's always been like this, but like today I really got a good look at like this cliff face, and you can just see it from down below, and you're like, it's all just tagged with like spray paint and everything. I'm like, really go like to like a bridge or something urban. Don't do it on
Mhm.
natural, like a something nice like older like this.
Yeah.
Well, I know where I live. Like, if anyone knows
I'm not
where the Doyle
condoning
is at.
spray painting your bridges, but I'm just
I can see
anyways,
I
just
could see all the
disclaimer.
photography news channels covering all the controversy in this podcast, like
Yeah.
all the beef and stuff.
There's just so many things that we've talked about that could be so controversial.
The
It's
North
100%
the Northrops
ad-free.
are gonna make a podcast about us. Or something.
But, yeah.
A reaction video.
Uh,
Sorry, Chelsea.
Get a load of these guys.
Oh gosh.
Let's circle it back here. So, if you don't mind, I mean, if you guys are done with that, we were talking about how we started the podcast. So, Henry, you technically came to us about it, right?
Mhm.
So, could you
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit more?
So I was just literally like when you look in the Instagram pod, I thought like us three would be the best. Not saying the other people are bad or anything, but because we're somewhat near each other, similar styles but different enough, and I wanted to at least do some kind of video project. So I was just thinking, and this kind of came to my mind, and I literally just as soon as I thought that, I thought it was such a good idea, so I just sent it right to you guys, and you guys seem to like it. So
Oh, yeah.
here we are.
instantly.
Yeah.
Here we
I was
are.
I was like, I'm glad you mentioned it
Mm.
because I was like thinking in the back of my head, I'd like to do something like this.
Mm.
And you're like, I was like, so yeah, of course.
Mm.
Because
being a content creator, if we can call ourselves that, is kind
Yeah.
of lonely sometimes. It's like it's good to collaborate. So
yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah, my whole channel right now, my YouTube channel is like just me by
Uh-huh.
myself. So, and it's always been pretty much for you guys, right? Just kind of like the one-man army.
Mhm.
You just kind of do everything. But
You
So
know,
that's-
I have a professional editor and cameraman and everything. So just
see, I make
kidding.
it look like I'm vlogging to myself, but it's actually a 10-man camera
Uh-huh.
crew behind me. The boom operator. No.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Rylan he's got like a whole camera crew behind him or something.
I definitely do.
The scrolls are
Yeah.
props, right?
Yeah.
Peter McKinnon is filming him right now.
Yeah.
He's actually the audio engineer
See,
for all this.
You think there's actually a laptop here getting the studio? No, there's like 10 people that I'm looking at right now, and they're just like, I have a teleprompter up and everything. They're telling me what to say.
Yeah.
This isn't me talking.
You got your financial advisors telling
Yeah.
you, don't say this. Nikon good, Canon bad.
Uh-huh.
Something else I want to throw in is I feel like we're all pretty open to having guests on the shows.
Mhm.
I mean, if anyone ever wants to join, just shoot one of us an email or a DM on Instagram.
I may have asked a few people already. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
just sit
That's
down.
good.
Yeah, no, and I feel like we definitely could do that. I know there's enough people that'd be interested if they have the proper, audio video that we're record with.
Mhm.
But that's definitely something we want to do down the line, I think.
Let me just call Chelsea real quick and see if she wants to.
Uh-huh.
Ben Horn, are you there? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to have Ben Horn on here.
He's so chill, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. We can dream.
Mm. I mean, I've watched some shows that have like 100 subscribers that have had pretty big photographers on there. So I think we could do it eventually.
Maybe if we annoy them enough.
Yeah.
Every new episode, just send to them.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Actually, if you don't mind, I'll segue into it. Kind of like what kind of guys did you get inspired by, like photography wise?
Hmm.
Well, I've got to say, the Northrops, they really got me. I mean, they really got me. I mean, for real, I bet over 85% of what I know and what I've learned as a photographer, I learned from them and their books and their videos. They really helped me a lot, and they seem to be really nice, genuine people as well, which is always a plus. Morton Hilmer also really inspired.
Oh,
me.
yeah,
I don't know
he's
if you ever
great.
watched him.
He's
Yeah.
His wildlife
great.
photography is incredible, and he gets so into it, and it's just like, oh my gosh, he's up there having the
Yeah.
time of his life.
He's a great guy.
It's like he'll put a 40-minute episode, and it's just like so chill. You just want to watch every second of it.
Mm.
Because every part matters. Like him just pouring in water, and it's like it's mind-blowing simple, but it's great. He's refreshing.
And I've got one more too, Thomas Eaton.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
That's
Oh
really
yeah.
good too.
He's my number one. Did you get his
Yeah.
book? I just got it in the mail.
I did not.
Yeah, let me.
I really
let me
thought
get,
about
let me
it,
get it
though.
real quick.
This podcast is sponsored by Thomas Heaton.
Since we're talking about books, at least, yeah. I'm shamelessly plugging his own book, but
Yeah, I really want that as well.
spread the book. Dude, it's great. Oh my gosh, like the stories are really like, cause like all of, not to go on a tangent here, but like I see that. I should buy one, man. I'll order one. But anyways, I'll make this short. But yeah, his like all of the images are pretty much from his like YouTube videos, Thomas Heaton. But like the stories are like stuff that's outside of, like, he doesn't explain it. So it's just like really cool to get this like intimate account. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it's a great book. And that is one of my inspirations. So, but I've too many. I get easily inspired.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like the adoring fan if I saw him in public. I'd be like, oh my gosh, can I get your autograph? Can you sign the book? Like.
Yeah. So I'm kind of similar to Rylan. I like the Northrops. I wouldn't say I'm like a super fan, like Rylan obviously is.
Yeah.
Guilty.
I like Jared Poland. He's good. Yeah, a little bit crazy sometimes, but he's good.
He shoots raw. Did you know?
No, I did not.
I thought you shot JPEG. Really?
Tiff. Yeah.
Thomas Heaton as well. And then also there's this guy, I don't know if you've watched him, but he's like completely opposite of Tony and Chelsea. He's like very against them. He's his YouTube channel name is named like Theoria A Pop Faces or something.
Excuse me.
It's these unedited camera rants. He's a Fuji and Nikon shooter. Yeah. He's really good. So
I've never heard of him.
he's the like third biggest photography channel or something.
Really?
Yeah.
No, or shoot, really? Huh.
He makes some weird videos, but I like his photography ones. Yeah.
That's fair. I got a few more. I got too many, like I said. I'll just name them. Nick Page, great landscape photographer. Adam Gibbs, pretty much the same reason. Sean Tucker, he does more streets. Good. Yeah, but his like cinematography is just crazy good. And I actually bought his most recent book, which is also amazing. And then other than that, these are all YouTubers, but still, non-YouTubers are like Art Wolf. He's great. I'm like blanking. There's too many. A lot of like local ones in my area, because I've connected and networked with a lot of them. And there's a lot of good ones. I guess I can name drop Jeremy Nicholson. He lives kind of near me in town. Jeff Smith. Like I said, they're kind of smaller, but they're known. They're well known in this area, and I've fortunately have communicated with them before.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
I know earlier I mentioned that I do some portrait work too. Someone that does really good portraits that I'm a pretty big fan of is Jessica Kobasi. She does some. I don't know if you all have seen her. She does some really good stuff as well.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at Clyde Butcher's work? He doesn't do YouTube or anything, but he's the guy who shoots the Everglades all the time. His large format black and white camera.
I might know who you're talking about.
He's really cool. And then I like Peter Lick, but a lot of his photos are fake, which I guess is fine.
Yeah. But... He's like more of a creator and artist type. Which I get that.
Someday I want to like have a print store like him where I can sell my photos at $10,000 a piece. So.
Don't we all?
It's crazy. You ever look at his Instagram? Because people say in the comments, "I just bought one of these." I'm like, I look at the price tag, 10,000. Yeah. And I'm like, what the?
I mean, I don't doubt it. I'm sure he's sold a lot.
Well, it's like a small market, but like if you can sell 5 of those a year, you're set. Like, yeah. So he's got it.
I mean, that's some people's like yearly salary if he sells 5 of them a year. I mean, that's crazy.
And he's been in National Geographic and everything too, so he's doing really well.
He's got his hands in like every gallery in a lot of countries, like his own galleries too. It's crazy.
That's one of my like personal goals. I would love to be in National Geographic one day.
Oh yeah.
Like just one photo or something. I mean, it would be fantastic if I could one day somehow have working relations with Nat Geo. But I mean, one photo get in there, I'd be satisfied.
It's like harder nowadays too, and they canceled that. You probably heard of Your Shot. They got rid of that. So I was on that for a little while, but then I like logged in one day to post something, and they're like, "Sorry, it's gone." I was like,
"Did any of you guys have any like major achievements photographically? You would say?"
We have I?
Yeah, have you?
In the past? Quite a few. I've had a few exhibits. I'm in a brick and mortar store right now, like
Mhm.
close. It's out of my town, but it's like 15-minute drive.
Yellow
Um,
Springs, right? You
yeah,
said? Yeah.
yeah,
My grandparents
yeah.
live near there, so
Oh,
I go
cool,
there
cool.
quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, next time you're in town.
If I'm ever up there, I'll visit.
Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, I've done a few exhibits as guests. I'm actually in one right now in Dayton, Ohio, and that goes until like the end of August.
Mhm.
And other than that, I won an artist mini grant earlier this year during the pandemic, and that was like a $150 grant. So that was
No,
cool.
it's cool.
I made a video and I put it on my YouTube channel for everyone to see. So, and other than that, lots of hiking, lots of sweat, blood, and tears.
Yeah.
Lots of good photos.
Uh-huh.
That's an award in of itself. So
Yep.
lifetime. So
I guess my greatest achievement, I really don't think they do it anymore. I know at one point they had a wildlife photo of the day.
My achievement, I only have pretty much one. Last year at the Kentucky State Fair, I got best overall color prints, so best of show, for a waterfall print. So that's pretty much the only thing for me, but pretty cool.
oh, you've had more. You started a YouTube channel. That's
Yeah.
an award.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's small battles, man. You
Yeah.
gotta choose them. I did like not to flex, I guess, but I just remembered it. I did like a dozen like art and craft fairs last year, like all throughout summer. And it was they were a lot of work and they were hectic and busy. I had like for like a whole month, I had a 2-day festival every weekend. So it felt like I was just on the road for like a whole month. It was nuts, but they're a lot of fun. I made quite a lot of sales and I met a lot of people from that. So they're fun to do, but a lot of work.
Yeah, I might consider doing that soon.
The thing is, I will say, just a word of caution is like you can do one and that's cool, but if you really want to like make some like return, investment, you have to do so many, like owe so many. Doing one, it's fun, and if you just want the experience, but like if you really want to like get after it, it's like you kind of have to do a lot of them to make it make sense,
Mm-hmm.
So,
So you guys don't have to state this or anything if you don't want to, but is your photography, I don't know if you guys would consider it a business, but is your business profitable at all?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about this right now. Yeah, when I did my taxes, I go to an accountant. So earlier this year, I had, all my papers, all my receipts, everything laid out. And I was like, he looked at it and he's like, it's not really worth filing because it's just you're not making enough and you're spending too much, expenses versus profit. And I was like, crap. So he's like, I'm just going to let this slide. The government's not going to owe you money. I was like, jeez.
Yeah.
So it's rough, but
Which the only reason that I am profitable at the moment's from my portrait work.
Mm.
That's where my main income is coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Did you find, Rylan, when you started that a lot of people, did you get a lot of offers from that or?
No, because in my area there are so many photographers. I bet there's like 10 different portrait photographers, which makes it a really complicated industry, especially being around the Red River Gorge and stuff too. They have a whole lot for like weddings and stuff. It's starting to slowly come in more. I've got a client on Saturday, which is actually it's actually a pretty big deal. They're an anchor on ABC 36. I don't know if you all you get that. They're not an anchor, but they're a meteorologist. So she's like verified on Instagram, and I'm like, kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you doing like
nervous about it?
Indoor headshots, or are you just doing some outdoor location?
No, it's
or is it professional, I guess, or is it just like they want pictures of portraits? I'm saying, is the occupation like a coincidence, or is it like?
Oh, the occupation is like a coincidence. Originally, she contacted me wanting to get like family portraits in the Red River Gorge, and I do that. But like, I also have a location at my home where I have like an old barn, and it's like on my farm. I just have like a whole lot of different areas laid and set out for portrait photography, and so I kind of I didn't force the issue to be here. I was like, yeah, we can do the Red River Gorge, and I sent her my website link. And this is why it's really important as a photographer to have a website.
Yeah.
I was like, you can look at my portfolio, and I have work on there from the gorge, and I have work on there from my location. I'm not going to give away my location on here for the whole world to hear, but
obviously.
but
Yeah,
I
pull
told her
up
that
your
she could-
address right now.
I told her that she could come here or she could do the gorge. It didn't
Social
matter to me.
Security bank account.
And after I suggested that, she looked at my portfolio and she found some pictures of people like by the barn that's at my location, and she really liked those. So she decided to end up coming here instead of actually going to the actual gorge location. So
Hmm.
it worked out.
It's
Mhm.
really cool. It's cool that you use your own property as like a backdrop.
Yeah.
You have that kind of that asset at your disposal.
So
Mine's
you go ahead. Sorry, I keep interrupting
Oh,
people.
that's all. That's all
Okay.
good. No, I was just gonna say my boring suburban neighborhood is just like here's my backyard. I thought you wanted a picture back here.
Yeah, same here. So
Yeah.
um,
Anyways,
so for me, I would say not profitable at all. Let's just, for me at least.
don't cry about it.
I made about, let's say,
He's
100.
getting emotional.
You sounded like you're gonna cry.
No, 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 no. Let's say about $100 total. And that's all
That's
through
good.
that's all through prints. But
That's
Um,
good. You're welcome. Got you, man.
yeah, yes, thank you again.
That's all good. No problem.
But I do I can't speak. I do a lot of volunteer photography. So at my school, I'm the head theater photographer. So I take I'd say about 5,000 shots a year for them. So
Jeez.
uh,
It's a lot of work.
Nice.
yeah.
That is.
But maybe I'll start doing portraits, and I really need to get into a website. Like, I feel like that'll really launch it a bit more. But
Yeah.
Which I guess if you follow me on Instagram and or YouTube and you're watching this, I'm gonna go ahead and give the announcement early because for one, we're almost an hour into the podcast.
mhm.
So if you're still here, you're pretty dedicated at this point,
Yeah.
and I think you deserve to know. I plan to be dropping a print store on my website, www.rollinsamazingphotography.com, with very long URL, I know. within hopefully a month, that will be there. Which
I'm gonna hold you
That's-
accountable to that.
is exciting.
Yep.
I'll look forward to it.
Hmm.
I'll
And
buy
if you-
something for you too.
If you would like to purchase my prints, I'm on hdoylephoto.picfair.com. So
And you can find me at www.ryanltaylor.com. That has everything you ever want to see from me, both on my Instagram and elsewhere. And yeah.
Mhm.
It's
But
got-
obviously, we all don't do this for the money. I assume. I mean, I'm not at least.
Definitely
if I
not.
wasn't if I wasn't making a single dime, I'd still do it. I think
Uh,
in
same.
my heart. Yeah, I figured you guys too.
I mean, I didn't make any money until about 2 weeks ago. So
That was like a year ago, year and a half. Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
one of those
think-
things you got to build up to
And
over
you can't-
years.
I mean, you can't even expect to ever make money. That's not why you should, do it. You'll never do good if that's what you expect.
Yeah.
I was explaining this song the other day because they're basically like, how long have you been doing it? And like, are you trying to make money? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I pretty much explained it like, you look at the big name professionals, they've been doing it 20,
Mhm.
30, 40, 50 years. Like, it's a lifetime
Mhm.
thing. It's not just get rich quick. It's
And
like
they don't
they
they
work
don't
at
even
it.
they don't even make that much money. Like they really aren't like up there. I-
It's
Only
yeah.
like the big names make like a 6-figure income. Like I mean, it's a good amount of money, but I've heard that it's like really just
you
not.
just
yeah.
you have to diversify. I think like a lot of them have books, they have a YouTube channel, they have a blog,
Yeah.
they might even have podcasts
You have to
and
have like a bunch of
print
different.
sales.
Mhm.
And they probably make money from workshops, maybe print sales a little bit, maybe book sales a little bit, mainly workshops, speaking gigs. I don't know. Some people do that. So it's a lot of different things you can get your hands in. But yeah, at the end of the day, you just have to kind of diversify, really.
Would you
I don't-
guys?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you guys ever consider going full time if you had the means to?
Trying.
That's hopefully
Trying.
my plan for
Mm.
the future. Yeah, to go full time.
Yeah, I don't really know for me. I mean, like I don't want this to become like I feel like when you do something as a job, it kind of ruins it as a hobby. It's just at least my
Yeah.
belief. So I don't know.
It's
Um,
go ahead.
Okay.
Your turn.
I don't know if either one of you all or if anyone watching ever watches Brendan Van Son.
Oh yeah.
But back
Yep.
back in the day, he used to have series, not a series, but like a little segment in his video where he would talk about the income octopus, where like he tries to have 8 different channels of income, whether it be like workshops and YouTube and stock photography and a book. He has like all these different sources of income to come in, which is really smart, because if you're relying on one thing, and I think COVID-19 really kind of proved that too,
Yep.
especially to like small business owners. If they just have all of their eggs in one basket, it can just, you
Mhm.
know, not
Yeah,
go well.
definitely.
And like you can't just rely on one site. Like you have to be on Instagram and YouTube, and if one of those goes down, you're screwed if you're just on that. So
I definitely, yeah, I agree with that. A lot of people say nowadays you have to do video work too.
Mhm.
There's just not even like, we're not, obviously none of us are really like selling videos, but like it's just kind of like you need it to like, I don't know, promote yourself
Mhm.
basically.
I've done a fair amount of freelance video editing, actually. But obviously I don't share that on my YouTube. So
Yeah.
I actually recently just did a video for a real estate agent, which is something that
cool.
I do
Oh,
a
wow.
decent amount. So I do like real estate photography, and then I do like real estate videography. And that's something I don't ever really talk about on my channel or Instagram or anything, because that's just kind of, a local thing. In the future, if I ever get the privilege to like do this as a job, that's definitely something that I'll talk about more and focus more on, because I feel like real estate photography is something that really you can make a 6-figure income
Oh, yeah.
from, because
Yeah.
there's always real estate, and there's
Mhm.
always agents. Once you get like connected, I feel like you're pretty
And
set.
I feel like real estates are the most similar to nature photography. It's kind of strange, but like you apply those same like landscape principles.
Like landscape.
Yeah. Leveling your tripod and getting
The-
everything in focus.
The lighting and
Yeah.
everything.
HDR
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Got that right. Yeah. I haven't done much outside of nature, to be fair. I mean, I've done some portraitures. I did like a soccer game. I did do one senior portraits years back for like $100. They weren't that good, honestly. I don't have the photos or the files, but I just remember them not being that good. So, but yeah, I've kind of done some on and off kind of odd jobs. But most of my sales are print sales. But workshops are one thing I definitely like to do, consider in the future. And I want to make a book. This is like my deadline. By the end of this year, I want to have a book done.
That is what I was about to say. I will pledge myself right now. If both of you all write a book, I will buy both. Just gonna throw that out there.
You got it.
I would do
And
it. My
if you
project
ever-
for this year is a calendar. So
Me
that's
too.
kind of what I've been working on. So
Let me know how you all do that. Like, if you all do on-demand printing, like where someone just prints it and you don't even have to do. Like, I tried to find an on-demand printer, like as far as calendars go, and I just couldn't do it. So I decided to sell my book and come out with a book instead of a calendar, which is a whole lot more work, by the way.
Your book's through Blurb, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking at them.
If you all write a book, I definitely recommend going through there. I mean, it can be a little bit pricey with Blurb, but I mean, they've got really great quality, and it's really good setup to write the book, because they give you the software and then it just uploads from the software automatically onto the website. It's like the software is called Bookwrite, and then it just uploads the book onto the website.
Are the photos
I haven't
accurate?
installed.
Yeah. When it's printed on the paper, it looks just like it does on the computer. So I was really pleased with the results.
I have at least 10 book ideas, and they're all kind of like various stages of completion. None of them really worked on, but like the photos, I mean, are just kind of there spaced out. But yeah, I have Bookwrite installed on my computer. I just need to actually like take the time to look at it some more and start something. But I'm saying the end of this year, I'm gonna probably do I'm thinking some kind of just general best of the year, just to start off. Nothing too crazy, just to see how a book looks with my photos, I guess.
Well, guys, I hate to be a negative Nancy, but I think it's about time that we close up the podcast for tonight.
Yeah,
I agree. So
that sounds good.
I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We kind of rambled a bit, but that's how all podcasts start.
We'll be more on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, this week was kind of just a general discussion about ourselves and you all kind of getting to know us. Next week we'll have a set topic, and we'll have a set topic from here on out, more than likely.
And if you didn't catch the entire podcast, maybe you're just listening to the end for some reason. You can go on our YouTube channel or mostly our Instagram to look at some clips if you want. And we're going to be posting on YouTube and Instagram, kind of promoting the podcast. So,
And the Instagram is at All Outdoors Photography Podcast. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I got it right. And then just search the same thing, that name, onto YouTube, and you should find it.
Yeah.
So,
Which that's something that I wasn't like keeping in mind. Some of you all might be like listening to this on Spotify or like Apple Podcasts, and then some of us are here just like showing our gear on the camera, and it's like
they don't
Yeah.
want
might
to
not
see,
see that.
They don't want to see these faces. I
No.
think. I don't blame them.
I don't either.
Yeah, honestly.
All right.
Well, thank you for watching, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you guys.